Hello, I'm down on the plots. I've got a strimmer back. I lost my strimmer, but I've got a new one back. This works one here. Tried it out today and it's done a nice job. I've neatened up all of my paths. They were getting really messy, so that's all good. And today I'm going to put in some butternut squash and also some sweet potatoes. Now I got these sweet potato slips from Marshall's. They're just down here, and they came in an envelope, all wilted. Put them in water for a couple of weeks, and then you pot them up, and then once they start growing on, they're ready to go in. It's taken a while to get them ready, but they're ready to go in. I've got something in my greenhouse that's eating everything, so I thought I'd get them out here and let something eat them here. Now you'll see this bed that I'm putting them in used to be the onion bed. I've still got onions here that aren't quite ready yet. All of the ones I planted in the spring, and I've also got some onions in this bed dotted about that aren't ready to come up either. There's one there that I can pull up. So I'm just going to pull those up as and when, because the time it's going to take these to grow, I'll be able to get the onions up while they're doing it. But I wanted to use the bed, so rather than just pull them up early, I'll leave them in. Now, these butternut squash I've got here, my plan is they're going to grow up a trellis. I'm going to get a trellis in nice and tall. And then any butternut squash I manage to get, if I get any, if I'm lucky enough, I can then put in old pairs of tights, you know, to support them as they grow up the trellis. And these sweet potatoes here, I've got them in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make a square frame about 1.5 meters high, maybe a little bit higher. And then from that I'm going to tie the vines up strings. So instead of letting them sprawl all over, I'm going to put them up strings, and hopefully that will work, because I've seen it work before. And it gives me more options, because if I left those to make vines, they'd fill up all of this bed, and I want them to grow up so they're nice and tall. Right, so that's the butternut squash and the sweet potato in and watered. I'll give it a little bit more water before I leave, just to make sure they're nicely soaked. So today I'm going to be putting up some fence around the allotment. This side here, all the way along there, all the way along there, all there. I won't get it all in today. What I've got is I've ordered some fence posts and some deer fencing. This is meant to be 40 metres, but I think they've only sent me 20, but we'll see. And let's see how far I can get on. First bit of fencing's in, just along here, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it actually, because it's very bright, but that's along there. It's quite thick mesh, but it's very thin. I made sure I got something that was very thin, because a lot of allotments use that stuff that you see on building sites, but I didn't want that. I wanted something that was quite thin, so if you see right the way through, and it won't obscure any light or anything like that, and I think it'll look okay, and it'll keep the deer out, which are doing my head in. Right, so I've got two sides of my fencing in. I've got in, if you can see it, this side here, and coming around past the shed, I've got in this side along here. So that's two corners. Show you what's going on next. I've cleared this area. This is where I had a load of wood, and I'm going to put a bed in here. It'll join on from there, just come along to here. Quite a small bed, but I can do lots with it. And then if I come round here, I'll show you what I've got to do next. Along here I've got to get in a fence, but at the minute it's not super urgent. It is going to go in the next week or so. I've actually got some net going all the way along there to stop things getting in and come past these flowering leeks. So this is a problem I've got, is this side here. If I actually come in here, that's my pole there. I don't know if you can see it down there, is my other pole. I've got to string back. If I draw a line with my finger, there's the line. Everything on this side of my finger I've got to string back. It's quite high, so it's going to be a pain to get back. But it'll be nice once that's all in, because then everything's going to be enclosed. And it's nice having it slightly enclosed, makes it feel a little bit more organised really. And it is starting to look very organised actually when I look at it. I'm going to water these courgettes now. I've got a bit of powdery mildew, so I'm going to try that milk and water solution. But it's starting to come along. This side here, which I've left to just go wild for this season, just because I want to give the soil a bit of a chance to recover, and I'll chop all of this back soon and let it just rot into the ground. Peas are coming along quite nicely, but it is actually starting to look quite organised, isn't it? It's nice having the fence, although you might not be able to see it properly, but it is nice having the fence there. This is the bit of my allotment that really is going to need a lot of work. There's brambles in there, so they've got to be dug out, but I will. It'll all be done. Beans are starting to come up either side of here. These ones are looking a bit weak, so I'm going to give them a feed now. Also going to give my courgettes and my pumpkin a feed, and everything else a bit of a water. But it is starting to look the way I was hoping it would end up looking, which is pretty organised and pretty nice. Yay!